The Hausa people, one of the largest ethnic groups in Nigeria, have a rich and complex history that spans centuries. Their journey of formation, growth, and evolution is deeply intertwined with the culture, economy, and history of West Africa. The Hausa people are believed to have originated in the central Sahelian region of West Africa. Their name, Hausa, may derive from the term Hausa, meaning to settle or to inhabit, reflecting their deep connection to the land. The origins of the Hausa are often traced to the ancient kingdoms and city-states that formed in the region that is now northern Nigeria, particularly around the 10th century. The Hausa people did not form a unified kingdom under one ruler but instead established a series of independent city-states, each with its own king or ruler. These states were collectively known as the Hausa Bakwe, the 7 Hausa states. Each of these city-states played a crucial role in the cultural and political development of the Hausa people. The 7 Hausa states are Kano, Katsina, Zaria, now Zaza, Gobe, Reno, Bairam, Damagaram. These city-states were often in competition with one another but shared a similar language, culture, and religious practices. They flourished as centers of trade, education, and Islamic scholarship. Kano, for example, became a hub for the trans-Saharan trade routes, facilitating the exchange of goods such as salt, gold, textiles, and slaves between North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. Islam began to make its way into the Hausa heartlands as early as the 11th century, introduced primarily by Berber traders and scholars coming from North Africa. By the 14th century, Islam had become an integral part of Hausa society. The spread of Islam brought about significant social, cultural, and political changes, which are still evident in Hausa life today. The Hausa rulers, who initially followed indigenous African religions, gradually embraced Islam. This transformation was solidified by the establishment of a formal system of Islamic scholarship and governance. The Islamic influence helped create a unified religious and legal framework, which helped the Hausa city-states grow and stabilize. Over time, the Fulani people, another ethnic group from the Sahel region, began migrating into the Hausa-speaking areas. By the 18th century, the Fulani had become an influential group, with many integrating into the existing Hausa society. The Fulani migration and settlement in Hausa land led to cultural intermingling and even intermarriage between the two groups. The most notable event of this period was the Fulani Jihad led by Usman Dan Fodio in the early 19th century. Usman Dan Fodio, a Fulani scholar and religious leader, sought to reform the Islamic practices and governance in the Hausa states. His movement led to the Sokoto Caliphate's creation, an Islamic empire that unified much of northern Nigeria and beyond. The Hausa states were eventually incorporated into the Sokoto Caliphate, which brought political stability and religious unity to the region. The Hausa language and culture became prominent in the administration of the Sokoto Caliphate, and the region witnessed significant growth in trade, education, and Islamic scholarship. In the late 19th century, the British colonial powers expanded their influence over the Hausa-speaking regions, ultimately leading to the incorporation of the northern part of Nigeria into British-controlled Nigeria in 1901. The British colonial administration adopted a system of indirect rule, which meant that they maintained the existing Hausa rulers but under British supervision. Despite British control, the Hausa people retained much of their traditional governance systems, particularly in rural areas. However, the colonial era also brought challenges such as the imposition of foreign rule, changes to the local economy, and the disruption of traditional power structures. Post-independence Nigeria. After Nigeria gained independence from Britain in 1960, the Hausa people continued to play a significant role in the political and cultural life of the country. They are particularly influential in northern Nigeria, where they are one of the dominant ethnic groups, along with the Fulani. The Hausa language has become one of the most widely spoken languages in Nigeria, not just in the north but across the entire country. Hausa culture, known for its rich tradition in music, dance, arts, and architecture, remains a major part of Nigerian identity. The Hausa are also known for their craftsmanship in weaving, leatherworking, and pottery, as well as for their colorful festivals, which celebrate both Islamic and indigenous traditions. The Hausa people continue to thrive as an integral part of Nigeria's diverse mosaic. Although they are primarily based in the northern part of the country, they can be found in various parts of Nigeria and even in neighboring countries like Niger, Chad, and Cameroon. The Hausa language is one of Nigeria's major languages, spoken by millions of people across West Africa. Today, the Hausa people are deeply involved in politics, commerce, education, and the arts. Major cities such as Kano, Zaria, and Katsina remain cultural and economic hubs for the Hausa people. Modern Hausa literature, music, like Hausa hip-hop, and cinema, including the Kannywood film industry, have gained recognition both locally and internationally. The history of the Hausa people is a testament to their resilience, adaptability, and richness in culture. From the establishment of the great city-states in ancient times to their pivotal role in the creation of the Sokoto Caliphate and their continued influence in post-colonial Nigeria, the Hausa have left an indelible mark on the history and development of West Africa. As one of the largest and most influential ethnic groups in Nigeria, the Hausa continue to shape the nation's cultural, political, and social landscape.